open the gifts in public. Now, appreciated gifts, again, most important thing. In Indonesia, gifts as tokens, mementos, logos of company are very prevalent. In Turkey, wine or liquor, and if you know that your host has or he appreciates having wine, drinks, you can very well gift them. But make sure that you have gathered information. Pastries is another option, cake is another option, vase is another option. Now, what are the gifts to be avoided?
You can have a look that in UAE, alcohols, perfumes containing alcohols, and the pork and the pigskin products are, you need to avoid them. It is not accepted. Even in China, do not give gifts in the sets of 4. Even a gift like a clock or the flowers which are cut are not regarded as good gifts. Even generally we associate white color as peace or as a good sign over in India, as we can say, but do not give any white objects when you are in China, as they are associated with death or funeral.
Very true. Now, what I would like to draw your attention, we are moving to the next part of our discussion today. In the beginning, we told you about what is culture, what is cross-cultural or intercultural communication. Then we moved on to the different aspects of verbal as well as non-verbal communication, how little differences may create a huge misunderstanding and lead to miscommunication. Now, this part of our presentation, this section of our presentation focuses on developing intercultural or cross-cultural communication skills, fine, so that you mingle with the people of different cultures very easily, you adapt yourself, you are flexible, and you give a very positive message about you, your culture, your society, and your nation. What you need to do is, the first tip or step for developing cross-cultural communication skill is not to use your head but to use your heart. Fine?
Giving respect and having the courtesy towards others' cultures also. So you have to work with your heart rather than using your head. Understanding the different cultures is an important aspect of intercultural communication, but giving due respect to the other cultures is also prominent.
Not just giving due respect, what you need to do is first gather information about their culture. Okay, basic information. I am not asking you to be very well versed in that particular culture, but gather functional information about the language and culture of the country or the place, or even the person whom you are going to meet in a meeting or as a delegate. You need to gather information. So gathering information, then doing a little bit of homework. For example, if anyone from America comes to Gujarat, he needs to know, it will show you attitude and respect towards our culture if the person says Kemcho, right? Aujo, fine. So if you are going there to their country, it is expected the same from you. If you are visiting China, then the common greeting is Ni Hao. So gather these little words which will help you a lot to communicate in the basic and in the very friendly manner.
Here we can also deal with the different examples which are followed. In Japan, we can say bowing down is a very good gesture that the Chinese people, the Japanese people actually observe. That true. Is you're giving respect, and the more you bow down, the more respect you are showing to the other person.
And again in Japan, we have again so many companies. It's vibrant Gujarat here, and we have so many multinationals that are opening their plants and manufacturing units in India, even in Gujarat, more importantly in Gujarat. And by chance, if you get an employment there, and there is a meeting where people are from Japan, people from Germany, people from other parts of the world are coming to India, then what you need to do is respect them through greeting them by their own way or in their own manner. Tea in India is a religion, a religion, but which is very informal. Taking tea in Japan is a very sacred process. Fine. Again, I'll tell you, there are some companies in Japan who, if they have invited any company for any business deal or transaction, they would expect the visitors or their delegates to wear the national dress of Japan, that is kimono. Fine. Why? Because for them, transaction again is a sacred process. Fine. They take it very seriously, they take it very religiously. So, you are working in a global environment and you need to work together, building groups, building trust. How can you build trust? You can build trust by having a very pleasing personality, by being a giver, and as we have repeatedly and very categorically said, respect each other's culture, language, gather information, show you attitude, make them feel that you belong to them. And then what you give, you get. What you sow, you reap. If you give respect, you get respect. If you accept others' culture, your culture automatically gets accepted. Again, we have just talked about how to build trust in the environment across the cultural boundaries, irrespective of a person belonging to a particular community, a person speaking a particular language, person wearing a particular dress, and so on. There are n number of intercultural factors which may exist or which may occur as a barrier. What you need to do is avoid them, minimize them, so that the target is achieved. What most important is target. Connecting with people.
It is extremely important to connect people respecting the different cultures which are spread out globally. Now, as ma'am, here I would just give you an example, just a brief recap about the gift giving. Last week we had Germans coming at our place and they were so happy when I gifted them the famous bandhani of the Gujarat state. So, and they appreciated it because it is acceptable, and the love and the affection that we give to our
the guests
who
who are the cultural ambassadors of their own country.
And now and they were literally happy to have a gift from India, and as we say, the vibrancy that India has, I guess no other country has.
Very true. You reminded me of another occasion that I would like to share. We had guests in our place from England. They were doctors. And before entering our house, what they did was they stepped on the at the doorsteps, and there were 3, 4 or 5 of them in family. They started singing prayers.
Okay.
And when they started singing prayers, everyone in the locality, they came out and they started watching that what's going on. And there was a huge kind of a curiosity that was prevailing. So
maybe ma'am, they have understood our Indian culture, that we are into the more God believers, or maybe we like to worship the things, and before they try to do this and follow this practice. That is
Very
what
true.
you meant to say.
now we move
On to the next 10 strategies for the effective cross-cultural communication. First, as we said, that you need to have a detailed study or just a knowledge about the different cultures for the country, specifically for the specific country you are visiting to. So, build self-awareness and respect the differences which come across the different cultures.
Yeah.
Even as we say, you have to be honest again in accepting your cultures. Don't carried away. Don't get carried away with the different cultures that you have, and be flexible. Try to accept the variations in the culture accordingly. Don't get carried away. Then think twice. Think twice before applying any kind of communication techniques. Again, you need to avoid the stereotypingness.
Yeah, you cannot be orthodox.
Yes.
You cannot say that
open-mindedness.
my religion or my culture is the best, the superior. You need to adapt, you need to accept, and don't be hesitant to ask questions. Whenever you find that you are getting trapped somewhere, instead of getting carried away, instead of letting it go away as it is, creating all sorts of barrier, it's always better that you clarify by asking politely questions and get the things sorted out.
Open-mindedness, that is the
Very
most
true.
important factor. Open to new ideas and absorb the new ideas which you get from others. That is a very essential step that one needs to follow when you are in a intercultural communication.
Now let's just wind up. Our students, in today's presentation, what we have seen is what is intercultural communication, how it varies from culture to culture, what are the different manifestations of verbal as well as non-verbal communication, what are different handshakes, what are different gestures, what are different postures, sitting postures, standing postures, how language differs from culture to culture, how dress code also differs from culture to culture. Then we also told you certain aspects, certain points and important information regarding gifting, regarding wrapping and unwrapping of gifts. We also told you something important which was about different kinds of non-verbal aspects, that is kinesics, proxemics, space distancing, eye contact and touch, communication through touch, that is haptics. Towards the end of our presentation, we also focused on tips to improve intercultural communication. We also told you and tried to differentiate, make you understand the differences between what is face-to-face and real communication situation and what is virtual communication situation. So in real face-to-face communication situation, all these cultural differences get categorically pointed out. And when you are non-verbally communicating in virtual communications situations, things become even more complicated. So I expect my students to consider these differences, to open up to the cultural differences, accept them, work in the right direction, respect each other's cultural, and be a global citizen. I hope you might have been benefited by our presentation today. And in case you have any queries, this is our email ID, that is anshubiadi@gmail.com, and for my cell number is 9427838363, and my colleagues Shilpa Dharmadikari.
My email ID you can take down. It is smdshilpa@gmail.com, and my mobile number is 9558817782. So feel free for the solution, and you can get the solution for your queries and doubts.
Aujo, see you next time. Bye.
Thank you.
Sandhan, All Gujarat Integrated Classroom.
સેટેલાઇટના માધ્યમથી જોડતી કડી એટલે સંધાન.